recording right now.
Gibbs,
Clip it.
I did
Yeah,
see.
sorry about that. I had to move my screen around. My screen was.
Gibbs,
flip it.
I did.
Yeah,
see,
sorry about that.
So I did see you on Grid One's show earlier this afternoon because I was at work and I was.
We got volume.
Listening in.
You got to say something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
Avi, she basically said that Kel seems fine. She doesn't seem drunk or high. What the heck? Look. We don't.
Seams is doing a lot of work here. Seams is doing the heavy lifting.
Discussion about somebody's life that I don't. I don't want to get involved in.
None of this has anything to do with you being a piece of shit that nobody wants to fuck. That hasn't changed any of it. Kel gets more action than you, and if she apparently got out of rehab, maybe you should go to rehab because you should do some drugs because maybe that'll make you likable. Because clearly nobody likes you right now. That's why you talk about having dust in your vagina instead of sand. Because the red pill don't want to fuck you, the lesbians don't want to fuck you, the bad guys don't want to fuck you, the lawyers don't want to fuck you, and they sure as fuck don't care about respect your opinion. 0%. Andrew Wilson and Mama Wilson don't want to fuck you. They didn't invite you to that threesome because guess what? They don't respect you for your opinion. And that's why you had to go get simp number 337 because at least one guy on the internet who's desperate will gas you up. So next time you want to come hot at me, maybe think before you do because I'll cook you every goddamn time because this is your level. And my level's just way up in the sky. Just call me Zeus, and you belong below Hades and Tartarus. That's a fucking Greek reference right there.
I honestly hope that Gibbs is watching my chat right now. Basically, she's saying debate me right now on whether casual sex is beneficial.
Let's go.
What's Gibbs' channel link? He's on Twitter.
Twitch.
Or not Twitter.
I have a whole show planned with guests. I'm not going to move around my fucking shit for fucking Puta McGee. I don't give a shit about fucking this shit. Like, listen, I cannot express the level of not give a fuck about, like, wow, you're a TikTok debater. Like, good for you. Listen, I could burn your last week's salary right now on stream and laugh. You know what you can do? You can kiss my ass. That's what you can do. Like Jesus Christ. Like this is like when like people talking about the betters. I am your better. I am your superior. Why don't you go home and go talk to mama? Like that's what you should do. And now I'm done with that.
So, all right. So you guys can gladly have that debate, but not right now because we have this debate to do. What's up, Lethy?
What's good, Grid?
Did I say that right, Lethy?
It is Lethy.
Okay, good. All right.
Lethy.
Make sure.
Okay.
It's important to get people's names right.
Correct. Yeah. Lethy.
So,
okay.
But yeah, so you walked in at a very inopportune time.
I didn't walk in; I was dragged in.
Yeah, he's
filling it. Plymouth Rock landed on me.
That's right, guys.
Yeah, right. All good.
That's
all
right.
good.
All right, well, let's kick this off. Castle, how are you doing today? Now that you walked in while we're yelling, we swapped your partners at last minute because I think Shit and Donut's got doctor's appointment or something. He might come in late. I'm not 100% sure, but we're making moves.
All good.
I got shit to do today.
Oh shit!
Let me switch.
She says that she will pay for the debate, so you're gonna have to debate her at some point.
Here, check this out. Dude. Let me show you something. Let me show you all something.
I know.
Are you this is what I think about. Oh, 500? You want to go do that?
Are we doing this right now?
No, let's not do that. Gibbs, let's not do that. Let's
not
burn.
We're gonna do this burn. This is what I think about your $500.
You're muted. Jake, you're muted.
You're not muted. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear it.
Is he seriously doing that? What's the matter with you?
This is what I think about your fucking money. I don't give two fucks about your dollar bills. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, we could, like, it's the principle. Maybe have some, and then you'll understand where we're coming from. But you don't have any. You just fucking hang on whatever nutsack gives you the most attention. So how about you go fuck yourself? Now let's have our debate. Guys, welcome to Give Me a Break. Sorry about that. We had to take care of the trash and throw it out like the women that they are.
You got the watch stream
Anyway, so good. Yeah, I do have a live stream up. Thank you. We're going to get to that. We're going to zoom in on that in a moment. This is Dr. Steve Turley, and he had posted something interesting last week, and that's what we're going to introduce our topic today. He was talking about is the Democratic Party, and so I'm going to let y'all zoom in here, click on it, and we're going to play it here in about 5 seconds. Whenever y'all are ready, let's do this.
Right.
The Democrat
I'm
Party
looking at my screen.
So
I'm looking at that screen.
Corrupt
I got shit
precisely
over there.
because it is basically decomposing. It's dying. Sociologists have long studied how large social and political movements meet their demise, the pattern in their dissolution. And one of the key characteristics of that dissolution is rampant corruption. You see rampant corruption as a leading indicator of institutional collapse and social decay.
Still waiting.
Basically, the social conditions of the political party are so bad, so few people believe in it anymore, that politicians and what we're finding often judges, they just basically begin looting the public trough for all it's worth. They're done trying to reform it because trust in their political movement is in the toilet. They've been so politically rejected. So they're done with trying to reform the system, and instead they begin looting the system. So this fraud that we're seeing here is a stunning admission that Democrat politicians and judges see their party in rampant decline, and they're getting what they can while the party still shows some semblance of functionality. But of course, what does that do? That only ends up propelling a doom loop, a tailspin, since the more Democrats get caught in corruption, the more trust and confidence in the party implodes. And once that trust is fully shattered, as the legacy media is finding out the hard way, the institution eventually collapses. And I think we're seeing the slow but inevitable death of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party.
All right. Yeah. So that's the Steve Tully's take. I brought a panel of high value men here today to talk about the issues and give their opinion. So without further ado, let's start with Castle. What do you think about what Dr. Steve Tully said? Do we think that the Democratic Party is dying?
Well, I don't know what his timeline is, because dying, I guess in terms of politics and political parties, if you were to say 100 years from now or 200 years from now, I guess anybody could say that. But dying in the near term, no. I think the Democratic Party is pretty unpopular right now. I think at the last polling I've seen them, they were at like minus 18 at their net approval. But if you look at history and what the Republican Party has polled at and looked like in the past, people had said the same thing about the Republicans before Trump came along and kind of revived the party. Democrats were losing back-to-back elections to George Bush until Obama came along. So I think the parties themselves aren't popular. They just need better figureheads. And right now, Trump is a good figurehead for the Republican Party. Once he leaves, I don't know if the Republican Party is going to continue lagging behind. I mean, their approval rating is also negative. So I just think, and overall, the parties themselves are just not popular, and people are kind of upset at Congress and politics in general. So I wouldn't say that means that the Democratic Party is dying. I think that just means that their messaging and their messages to the public and their voter base are not hitting. And that's why they've been struggling to win the presidency. Even when Joe Biden won, it wasn't necessarily in support of Biden, but more of a rejection of Trump. So I think that Democrats need some more support from better leadership, either within the party or somebody like an outsider like Trump who came along to kind of revive it. But you only got two choices. So the Republicans and the Democrats, I think both of these parties are going to be here for a while.
All right. Thank you so much. Grid.
Yeah. So that was an interesting little clip there. I liked it. No, I think the Democrat Party is become increasingly morally corrupt. Matter of fact, they reject the idea of having morals, especially Christian morals. And they are becoming increasingly progressive to the point that a lot of people who've supported the party in the past don't even recognize it. When we look, Donald Trump is a Democrat. That's how far we've shifted. He's not a conservative. I don't like Donald Trump. I don't think he's the ideal conservative, which I think is an incredible visual when you think about it. That to get a conservative or something resembling a conservative, the Republicans in this country had to elect a Democrat. That's how far the Democrat Party has left its base behind. They're increasingly anti-Constitution. The basically spit on the Constitution and tear it up at every opportunity. Right now, there are multiple anti-constitutional measures before Congress and various votes for gun control and all of these things to limit our Second Amendment, to limit the First Amendment, to break the Fourth Amendment. As a matter of fact, the decision was just made on the Fourth Amendment to allow warrantless searches of personal property and houses in emergency circumstances, which is kind of scary because the law enforcement get to determine that, not you, not the person who lives in that house. And I think that normal working class Americans, not philosophical bros, not people who sit around and stare at YouTube all day, are leaving the Democrat Party because of this. They don't understand it anymore. It's not the party that they want to be associated with, and it's getting worse. We see this. We have Democrats hemorrhaging support from basically every group that normally supports them. The Hispanic, the Black, the blue collar, union workers are actually, literally a union came out in favor of the Republican Party, which has not happened in my lifetime. So I do think the Democrat Party, as it exists now, is dead. It's just waiting for the mind to realize that the body's dead. And that's all I got to say.
Well, thank you so much for that, Mr. Jake Farr. Also, if you want, before you go into depth about your answer and opening, are you real mad generally after you get a blowjob, or are you a happy person?
I'm pretty happy.
Okay.
That's
okay.
for sure. Yeah.
Okay. I was just testing a theory real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah. Pretty happy. Theoretically, I believe most men would be pretty happy after.
You would think so, right? Yeah.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. But regardless of that, just to kind of to go back to the prompt here, is the Democratic Party dying right now? I would say.
Can't hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. It's something on Grid's
I can hear you.
It's Grid's.
Yeah, you're good.
It's good. Okay. It's on my side. Yeah, I can hear everybody except him.
Except for me.
It's definitely Grid.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just do this. We got all the technical difficulties here. This is pro streaming. Let me just do this real quick. All right, how about now?
I don't even know.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me, Grid?
I can hear you now, but now I got to set up everything again. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, I think it was just your connection. Anyway, Jake, go ahead and lay it off.
Yeah, so just kind of go to the prompt right now. Is the Democratic Party dying? Going back to Castle's point right here is that, we see fluctuations of both parties kind of like going in their downer points of views, downer moments within history. Totally get you there, Castle. 100%. That is 100% true. However, when it comes to the Democratic Party, ever since Donald Trump has been elected, we've seen the Democratic Party completely go ballistic when it comes to particular things. Like, for example, when back in 2016, 2017, you had the Democratic Party saying that to get into the face of MAGA supporters. They were actually pushing a lot of this violent rhetoric. And tons of videos of left-wing people actually doing violent acts on right-wingers because they were voting for Donald Trump. Now, again, I was actually one of those individuals that actually got attacked because I live in a 90% Hispanic community here in the Rio Grande Valley, South Texas. I actually was one of those individuals. So I think that red-pilled a lot of individuals during that time. Not only that, we saw the Black Lives Matter riots. We saw individuals burning down and looting buildings. At the time, billions of dollars worth of collateral damage, as well as the Democratic Party, protecting these individuals, calling back the police. The police weren't there enforcing their duties. Now, Trump didn't call in the National Guard at the time. He was thinking about it, but it would go against the Democrats would be very insulted if that happened. How do we know that? Because now, earlier in the year, in the LA riots with ICE, we saw Donald Trump do the exact same thing. And what did they do to Donald Trump? Donald Trump is going against the sovereignty of the United States, and he doesn't care about these individuals that are the governments that deny Donald Trump his help simultaneously they're actually pulling back their own police force. This is what happened with Renee Good as well as Alex Purdy. So we see this with Donald Trump. Yes, the Democratic Party is dying because they have Trump derangement syndrome. They have had Trump derangement syndrome these past couple of years. But it goes back to this, Gibbs. And I'll tell you this right now, man. You look back at the Democratic Party, they've been nothing but destructive to the American people. This is why Donald Trump got elected in the fucking first place in 2024. Okay, so at the end of the day, it seems like right now in the moment, they are dying out. Now, would I count them out for the midterms? Definitely not. We still need to take our opponents 100% serious going into the midterms. But at this point in time, yeah, the Democratic Party has been nothing but destructive, especially with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which is another big thing there as well. And this gentleman right here that's about to do his opening statement is laughing it up, saying, "Oh, I'm crazy." Probably he's thinking that, right? Yeah, you're smiling. He's like, "I'm a crazy guy." To actually bring up all of the violence, the Tesla burnings, the fucking takeover of 6 blocks of Seattle that the left wing has done time and time again. And the people of America are tired of it. Yes, they're tired of it. And this is why Donald Trump and the MAGA right is taking over right now at this point in time. And Democrats need to fucking put their heads on a swivel because at this point in time, they are dying. With that being said, I'll end my opening statement.
Great. Thank you so much. Alethea, it seems like you take some umbrage with that. What are your thoughts?
Low Kirk, you and Lee, I don't take any umbrage with any of it. It just feels like any of the true Trump derangement syndrome I see are from the people that are arguing to defend Donald Trump. This just feels like the largest form of projection I've ever experienced. Texas literally got a seat flipped that Trump had won by 17 points. And trying to put it on the Democrat Party like, oh, well, Trump's a Democrat. So, yeah, it's the Republican Party that is turning into whatever Trump wants it to be. The only party that is dying and Trump is sleeping in its corpse like a freaking tauntaun is the Republican Party. This is hilarious. So as Republican as the administration is making moves and everybody is seeing that these moves are harming Americans, prices are going up, the tariffs are destroying businesses, Americans are dying due to ICE moving into cities where nobody wants them, is freaking ridiculous. It's literally the Republican Party hemorrhaging support, whereas Democrats are doing quite well. Like maybe you have some issue with the left, not being happy with anything that's going on, but what the fuck do you expect? So yeah, I'm very excited to hear anything else Grid and this gentleman Jake have to say in regards to this.
Well, before we turn it back over to the open, I've heard recently from my many political soothsayers that I follow here in the Twitch poll and I guess YouTube community. They've assured me that the seat flipping in Texas and the Madami election are indicators of the blue wave coming. And then I see something like what's happening in California with their governor's race. And I go, What are y'all's thoughts here? Are these indicative of a big change? Is it indicative that Dr. Steve Tully is wrong? What are your thoughts here?
Well, Zandani over there, the governor over there in New York, has already being betrayed currently by his own Democratic Party. He's already made promises to the New York people that he can't even promise, right? He promised free bus rides, free this, free that. At the end of the day, even his own party is already betraying him at this point because he couldn't actually make those promises to begin with. So, at the end of the day, if you see the Democrats really going after each other when it comes to policies, kind of looks like a bad look on the Democrats at this point.
I mean, I think that some of the things that Jake was saying about the disappointment people have in the Democratic Party or the anger that people felt during Black Lives Matter riots or some of these other instances that were going on during the country don't really seem to come to anything because by his own admission, he said that Democrats are going to win the midterms, but then also the Democratic Party is dying.
I didn't say that they were going to win the midterms, bro.
I thought you said that they were going to probably flip the House.
Just to clarify that, I said that us on the right wing shouldn't underestimate the Democratic Party, and we should still keep fighting in order to win the midterms. Because at the end of the day, yes, they're dying doesn't mean they're dead. Okay, so it doesn't mean we should fucking just think of them as a dead party, and we could just fucking go lilies and skipping through flowers. None of that. So that's what I meant by that. Doesn't mean that we need to underestimate the opponents. Yeah.
So right now, if you look at any prediction market or any polls, the Democratic Party is going to probably crush the Republican Party in the midterm. So I think that you're seeing races like what we've seen in Texas that Lethe mentioned, Mamdani winning. I mean, in California, Grid, you're right that the two Republicans are leading in the polls there, but it's also a jungle primary, and they're going to have to pick basically which Democrat is going to lead them at this point. So you're going to kind of see those polls flip at a certain point. Maybe it's going to be a closer race, but California has its own specific problems. But I think it's indicative that the Democrats can't be dying if they're going to take back the House, and possibly it would be shocking. But at this point, the numbers keep rising for them to take back the Senate as well. So I think for a dying party, it would be embarrassing if Republicans were losing to a dead and dying party, if that's the case.
Well, interesting.
Well, that's why we don't need to underestimate them. That was my point.
Yeah, sure. And I wouldn't say that we need to underestimate them. And midterms typically flip, right? During after a presidential election, midterms, don't they typically flip?
Yeah, I think the only time it didn't flip was at George Bush.
Well, it's been like three times in history.
Yeah, base
right?
Bush.
So
yeah,
he wasn't in the Epstein files, by the way. He just bombed them.
By the way, so it would be more indicative if these races tighten up, right? That would be more indicative that maybe the Democrat Party's not quite as sound as you think it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you see the Republicans, it's kind of similar to, I think it was 2022, the midterms under Biden, where they expected a big red wave and it kind of tightened. I think if the Democrats take back the House, but it's only by a few seats, then I think then you could kind of say that Democrats underperformed and the party wasn't as strong as people thought going into it. I mean, I'm just going off of the data I'm seeing right now in the polling.
Sure.
So yeah, you could definitely say that if they do come with a weak performance, for sure.
Where's the data that you're getting that from? Is it CNN or something like that? Like, where are you getting that?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Well, actually, that's an interesting question. With and this isn't even a bash, but like, what data do we trust for polling and anymore, right? Like, because
all the polls had Trump losing.
Well, exactly. Actually, many of the polls leading into the Trump, the Trump versus Kamala Harris, many people predicted that Kamala was actually going to take those swing states. Didn't happen at all.
Well, sure, and that's without any.
Didn't even come close. It didn't even come close.
Well,
so I think the polls comfort Democrats. I think you need that blanket. I think you need it because everything else about the Democrat Party sucks.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is that if we don't trust polling, what are we using to determine a guess who's going to win? How are we guessing?
Yeah,
I'm not even trying to guess. I don't have any interest in guessing.
Oh, I
think it's pretty clear.
The chips will fall where they lie. I'm not a gambler. So
I think it's pretty clear that when the American people see rioting, Tesla burnings that happened during when Trump first came into office, Tesla burnings, we saw the LA riots, that I think the American people don't like people being violent in the streets. So that goes to show that the Democratic Party is so desperate, and they actually encourage much of this stuff. Yeah, they'll say I condemn it, but at the same time, their actions, the way Gavin Newsom was actually taking out the police there, same thing over there in Minnesota. They're not allowing the police to go do their jobs as well. Same thing with the BLM riots that happened. Back in 2016.
Jake's on a good line here. So Castle and Lethe too, and especially Lethe, I guess, because he's having a lot of fun.
He's laughing. He's having a blast. He can't have any arguments.
Let me. So I understand that I don't know what states you guys live in. Maybe you live in Democrat strongholds, but like in normal America, where most people vote, do you not see the backlash against all of these Democratic-led initiatives, such as open border policies, defund the police, the riots?
Can you give me an actual policy? Can you give me an actual policy? Can you give me an actual policy? Give me the open border policy. Like, give me something.
An open border policy.
I don't see any support for an open border policy.
You don't?
No, I have not seen this ever.
Oh, okay.
Anywhere.
Do you see the support of Joe Biden's Gender Affirming Care Act?
Yeah, what's wrong with gender affirming care?
What's wrong with gender affirming care? That children are able to actually chop their nuts off based off of Joe Biden's bill.
Show me that. Show me that. Show me where in the bill.
Yeah. Go ahead and type in.
No. You show me
Joe Biden
where children can chop their nuts off, and I will concede.
Well, I don't think the children do. I think doctors.
It's actual
they're going down to the butcher.
Surgeons of that. They're not actually physically chopping their own nuts off, bro.
Reason here,
hey, you use the wording.
I'm reason. This guy.
I think they actually twist like the gastric.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Some rubber bands.
Joe
Biden, I don't know
Biden,
what he's talking about.
Joe Biden actually passed the bill, the Gender Affirming Care Act, where children can actually get hormones, etc., before they even become adults. Do you support that?
I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Okay,
like,
so
hypothetically, do I support a hypothetical?
No, not hypothetically. This was an actual bill. Do you support it or not? You asked Grid to name a bill.
Me the bill.
I'm giving you a bill right now. Do you support it or not?
You're telling me about a bill. You're not showing me what the bill even was.
Okay.
So now it's a hypothetical bill.
The bill essentially what the bill was that parents that have children could actually legally go and actually trans their kids before being 18 years old. Do you support it or not?
I'm unaware of what I'd be supporting. I want to know what the bill says.
Okay, in general, do you support children transitioning before 18?
As far as I understand, this isn't the case. So no, I wouldn't support that.
You wouldn't support that. Okay, great. So then you don't support Joe Biden's Gender Affirming Care Act, right?
If you are saying this is what it says, which I don't believe that's what it says.
You're not aware of that, but because he's a lefty, and this is why lefties don't actually report on that, whatever he's watching. But hold on. This is why when you ask the question about what bill that
I can give it. All right.
So I was speaking toward open borders, but you
right. But okay, all right.
So sure. And I'm just like,
when I'm giving you a different bill that the Democrats.
First of all, I didn't say a bill. I said a policy. Would you deny that AOC has called for effectively an open border policy by decriminalizing illegal entry, just walking across the border? She wants that decriminalized. There's no penalty for it whatsoever. Would you say that would be effectively an open border policy and is supported by AOC?
No, I absolutely wouldn't. But I would say decriminalizing crossing the border illegally would be a reasonable measure, considering that most of the people.
A reasonable measure? See, this is why you're
going to let me finish my statement.
But do you like that AOC pushed it? Do you?
So finishing my statement.
Yeah, hold on. Let me finish. Go ahead, Leafy. Go ahead.
So, like, literally, most of the people that are in this country illegally are on overstayed visas and didn't come in by crossing the border. So, decriminalizing it changes.
That's absolutely demonstrably false.
Hold on, let him finish. Go ahead, finish, Leafy, and then y'all can object.
But I can't.
So, that being the case, I don't lie. I mean, I can give you the data, but
yes,
I don't think you care.
Yes, please.
He's incapable of lying, Grid. He's incapable of lying.
I kind of am. By the way, I suck at lying.
You kind of okay. That's fine. Leafy, right? That's your name. Real quick, bro, you do realize that under the Joe Biden administration, you had literally 10 million encounters at the border. After his administration, we found out that 50% to 60% of those individuals stayed within the interior of the United States. So there's about 5 to 6 million people that actually stayed within that. Again, so this is a policy from Joe Biden. He was weak on the border. Do you support that? Do you support Donald Trump right now deporting people within the interior of the United States to get rid of at least 5 million to 6 million people that Biden let in?
Yeah, I don't see that as being the case. I believe that the numbers for deportations were greater under Obama and under Biden than they are under Trump, even with
I'm not talking about deportations. I'm not talking about deportations. Listen to my question. When it came to Obama and Biden, yes, they had more deportations because they were deporting people within the borderline of the United States. They weren't deporting people within the interior of the United States. So my question again is, do you support Donald Trump deporting people within the interior of the United States that Biden and Obama did not do?
Yeah, of course I do.
Okay.
can I get the data? Yep.
Yeah,
The majority of illegal immigrants here are overstays.
I've seen the data and it changed recently, but it was that for like, until like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. But anyway, moving on from that, I think speaking of the immigration though, right? I feel like that's a good example. I was told many times, that illegal immigrants aren't getting Medicare. Turns out that was a lie. And if you want to see the clips on it,
hold on.
I can find the clips from about a million different.
Is not the majority. 40% is not the majority.
Yeah, because it changed like 2-3 years ago. But
he said the majority of illegal people in his country were overstays. That's factually his own data. That's factually incorrect.
Well, because he's basing it off of deportations, Greg.
No. But it doesn't matter because it's only 40%. His own data, 40%.
Is not even the majority.
Yeah, it's not the majority.
Well, it's not the majority.
So it's I mean, I don't know what to say here. You just proved me right. You just proved me right.
No.
Allowing people to walk across the border and decriminalizing overstays or walking across the border, entering the country illegally, which, by the way, overstays is not entering the country illegally. And also, we generally know where to find those people. However, decriminalizing it would, in fact, amount to an open border policy. It's supported by AOC, among others. I'm picking on AOC at the moment because she's just stupid. And and you guys are okay with that. You're telling me you're okay with that. That's what you're telling me.
I think we're kind of getting a little off topic because
I never stated I was okay.
I think it's exactly the topic.
Well,
that's
exactly the topic is the Democratic Party dying, and you guys are talking
this is why they're dying. Yes,
Joe Biden.
Yes, I gave an example. Hold on. I gave examples of why the party is dying, why people are leaving you, why Hispanics, blacks, and other groups that are historically vote, including labor unions, historically vote Democrat, are not voting Democrat in waves. I gave examples of that, and I was told, no, I was wrong, that it was an open border policy, all of these things. And now I'm saying, prove to me that I'm wrong, and you're not proving me wrong. Matter of fact, you just proved me right.
Well, hold on.
I'm trying to
let me
figure out
appreciate
because we just had elections. We just had elections in Virginia, and I don't know if you're familiar with the governor there, Abigail Spanberger, but ran on a pro-trans agenda, and I think she won by over a dozen points. So I don't think that these issues you guys are talking about and running on about what Joe Biden did
Virginia is historically blue, though. That's the thing.
It's not historically. They just had a Republican.
Hold on. Let me reframe this a little bit, right? I think that y'all are kind of hitting something with the immigration, but like I want to refocus this, right? Because with what Dr. Tully was saying, right? He's talking about the fraud, the corruption, and the like subversion of American people. Like I heard, like for many years.
I'm not accepting NPR as a source. I'm sorry. I won't accept that as a source.
Y'all can argue about that in a minute. But
that's adorable.
We'll listen, we can argue about that in a second. But the argument's basically been for years that, taxpayer dollars are going to bullshit. Taxpayer dollars, and then it turns out, it's going to Medicare. Now it's arguable about the fraud thing. That possibly might be a thing. It's the argument he's making is that it's become Tammany Hall at a massive scale, and the corruption's indicative of falling. Just like when the Romans became corrupt, they started falling, or more corrupt than I guess they were. You saw all the Praetorians taking them out, et cetera, et cetera. Is that what we're seeing here now? Like, are these policies they're defending, like, because they're protecting fraud, or is it for, like, moralistic reasons?
Can I answer that really quickly? Please. Now, I'm glad that Gibbs actually brings up the corruption. So recently we saw in Minnesota the biggest fucking fraud in American history with billions of dollars from the Somalians, who, by the way, were sending money over there overseas to their own family across. Okay. So again, Gibbs brings up a great point here is that, yes, the Democratic Party is dying because they're not willing to actually affect or actually put accountability into these minorities that they actually want to bring in, bro. They support immigrants, etc. This is what they're doing right here, but they're not willing to take accountability. And Tim, what's his name? Tim Walz. Tim Walz should be held accountable, and he should face some type of justice. Do you guys agree with me on that?
Well, no, because he hasn't committed any crime. He hasn't been charged with any crime. And that's kind of like another point I would bring up is who has been arrested in that whole Somalian fraud case that's in the Minnesota government? Because the Trump Department of Justice hasn't taken anybody from the state government there, put them in jail, or charged them with any crime.
Well, you would agree it takes time to actually prove that stuff, right?
I mean, Don Lemon got arrested like damn near overnight.
I'm not talking about Don Lemon. You would agree that it takes some time. Even Don Lemon.
Bullshit. That's bullshit. I'm not letting you get away with that. It took a week. It took a week to put Don Lemon in jail. I would have been arrested within an hour if I had done the same thing. Don Lemon, it took him a week to wishy-wally their fucking way around to actually arresting him because of who he is. I'm not letting you get away with that. I'm gonna back Jake up here a little bit because these policies. We see people rejecting it, right? We see the people who voted for Mandami outside his house picketing and yelling, you promised us. You promised us this was going to be the way it was going to be.
I think that was
and
like
they're not doing
people.
it, which is fucking hilarious to me. And as far as Virginia flipping and you want to use that as a great example, first of all, it does historically vote blue, but they were promised financial reform, and it hasn't happened. As a matter of fact, they're deeper in debt than they were, and literally everything's increasing. All of their property taxes.
They had a Republican governor before. That's the problem. They were ruled by.
How is it the problem when the Republican governor got voted out, and now that they have the person who they voted in to change things is not changing it, is in fact making it worse, and now they're having buyer's remorse, and that's what generally happens in this. And Virginia is actually one of the states that may go red for the first time in a while because of things just like this, because of the rejection of the Democrat Party, because every single time it's, trust me, guys, we're not going to raise the taxes. Trust me, guys, we're going to lower spending. We're not going to spend it on this. And yet, every single time, the money just flows right out the door when you have a Democrat in charge. Now, I'm not saying, hold on, I'm not saying that Republicans are much better. I'm certainly not saying that, but that's not the question here. People are flowing into the Republican Party, not out of it, whereas in Democrats people seem to be flowing out of it rather than into it. And as a matter of fact, the New York Times just released that the Republicans, who don't actually do a ton of fundraising, have over $150 million more than the Democrats in their war chest for midterms.
Well, yeah, they have what 14 mil or something like that. Is that what?
Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount compared to the Democrats, and historically it's actually been reversed, and Republicans don't generally raise money particularly well, whereas Democrat donors tend to really back them. So I really want to hear the actual nut and bolt justifications of why are these people leaving your party? Why are people just seem to be fed up with the Democrats? Because all you've told me is everything's fine. Nothing to see here.
Just a quick note on the money thing, because this is actually an interesting point that I wanted to mention earlier, but you brought it up now. I guess the RNC currently holds 80 million war chests for the midterms, compared to the DNC's 15 million, which is the lowest in decades. And it cites massive cash gap, declining cash on hand, high costs, donor skepticism, and Senate disadvantage, for the reasons that being the case. So what are our thoughts? Is that indicative of anything, or is it too early to tell?
Not really. I mean, I think if what Grid was talking about with fundraising, these are dollars that will be coming from millionaire and billionaire party, elites anyway. So I'm not really worried about that. I think that argument of fundraising, I mean, look at Donald Trump and the Republicans. They always lag behind Democrats and they would beat them anyway. So I don't think that funding is actually as big of a problem as you think it is, especially when running campaigns. Yeah, but also the elections are months away. So you'll see those numbers improve. I don't think they're going to remain this low. If they do, then maybe it will be a problem, but I'm just not concerned about that. I think that in terms of popularity, you're seeing both parties losing members and people are becoming more independent. So I never said that I wasn't worried about the trajections. Obviously, in my opening, I said that Democrats are unpopular, but Republicans are also unpopular and more people are going independent. My point is that...
Castle.
Okay. Fair enough, Castle. Fair enough. I like that. So, didn't a historically, I mean, like deeply historic blue city recently turn red? I'm thinking Chicago, right?
No idea.
Chicago is
Chicago's still blue, man.
Well, but didn't they elect or didn't they put a Republican mayor in?
You know, Chicago roasting pigs means something totally different than it does down in South Texas. I discovered.
I don't think it was funny. Chicago, Greg. You might be thinking of it.
I'll have to look into it. I thought that, or maybe it's somebody's running. They're finally running a Republican in that.
Just to shoot off Greg's point here, we did see all the swing states actually go towards Donald Trump in the last election. So what I'm saying here is that, of course, I feel, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I do kind of feel that the American people are kind of tired of the violence that happened under the first administration of Donald Trump, as well as the ending points of the Tesla burnings. And then now with the LA riots, etc. And then also now with the Minnesota, you have these lunatics trying to, interfere in ICE agents that are deporting illegals within the interior that us Americans voted for. So I do believe that, and just correct me if I'm wrong here, I do feel like the vast majority of Americans do support that. Now, you can make the argument that, well, Trump is maybe he's a little too mean about it. Maybe he's going about it a certain way, whatever the case is. But however, I do believe that the majority of people actually support this stuff. And it's the fringe lunatic left that are dying for this.
Jake, what is the common denominator in everything you just mentioned?
I don't know. You tell me.
Trump is in office.
So? How's that a common denominator?
His policies and the things that he's advocating for and moving forward are causing violence.
No, it's not.
Violence is coming from the top.
Nope. The violence
is not a great argument.
Yeah, well, then let me explain that. You didn't even make a real argument. You're saying it's coming from the top. So, okay, fine. It's coming from the top. You're saying Donald Trump. Again, if you're talking about the top part of things, you do realize that the mainstream media the past 12 years or so, they were calling Donald Trump Hitler. They're saying that he was...
who called him Hitler? Who called Donald Trump
CNN,
Hitler?
CNN.
I don't recall that ever happening. The only person I ever recall calling Donald Trump Hitler was J.D. Vance.
Yeah, well, no, J.D. Vance actually was getting that from the mainstream media as well as Democratic politicians that were also calling him Hitler. He literally
said he was Hitler.
Hold on. Do you think that J.D. Vance just thought that up on his own self, or did he get that from other people that were saying that narrative?
Somebody's hand was up his ass. It could have been Peter Thiel, but he said it with his own.
Okay, so nevertheless, okay, great. So somebody was up his ass about it. Nevertheless, J.D. Vance was repeating talking points from the mainstream media and the Democrat Party that Donald Trump is a tyrannical dictator. Okay, remember, dictator on day one. Oh, he's going to be a dictator on day one. He's Hitler, etc. Literally, we have debates on Piers Morgan debating this, and left-wing people agree with it. They say that, yes, this was the case. So I don't know. I guess you're just so ill-informed. I don't even know where to go with that. But do your research. Hold on, really quick. Do your research. Bro, do your research. My point is that the Democrats and the mainstream media have been calling Donald Trump Hitler for fucking 12 years, bro. Since he started running for office. Do you think that people that consume that type of fucking propaganda would say, you know what? He's Hitler. He's going to fucking end the world. He's a dictator. He's a fascist. He's this and that. All these words that they used. Is it actually possible that these lunatics on the left would actually take matters into their own hands and attempt to assassinate Donald Trump, which they did? Not only that, Charlie Kirk, God bless his soul, got fucking killed by a lefty. And now he's dead. Do you think that the left, the mainstream media on the top, is going to influence these individuals to do violent acts, bro? Just like the Tesla burnings, etc.
Just quick fact check. Just quick fact check, then you can go.
Well,
let me quick fact check.
I'm gonna
list all the people that I have listed that called Trump Hitler. Some are conservative, some are lefties. Glenn Beck, Louis C.K., Bill Maher, the entire cast of The View, Michael Moore, John Kelly, other notable characters, former Mexican President Vicente Fox, Anne Frank's stepsister, various protesters. Also, J.D. Vance called him America's Hitler, allegedly. However, he has retracted that one. Jasmine Crockett, actually, in a fit of originality, called him Timu Hitler. And the ADL called him Hitler as well.
Yeah. So
the ADL
while
as
it's
well.
fascinating to talk about Trump has nothing to do with people fleeing the Democratic Party. So while I appreciate the dodge, let's get back on topic here and talk about Democrats fleeing your party. Why do you guys, what's wrong with you guys? What do you see as a problem? Because obviously there is one. There's people fleeing your party. The party is going to collapse within the next few years if it doesn't do something to curb the communist, socialist aspects, the radicals, all of these people that you encourage up until right up until after the election's over, and then you forget about. So I'm really interested to hear our leftists justify why the Democrat Party is the way it is, because I honestly don't give a shit. Trump has nothing to do with the Democrat Party imploding on itself, other than he is driving them fucking insane. Beyond that, you guys shouldn't even have brought up Trump. That was honestly, that's irrelevant in this conversation. So I do appreciate it.
So as far as I understand, there's a massive rise in independence with a record high of 45% of Americans now identifying as independents. So both parties are actually hemorrhaging support. And I think it's based on feeling powerless in regards to the electorate. So I don't think it's that the Democrat Party is dying, and I don't think that it's the Republican Party is so far gone that people aren't really able to engage. It's that people don't feel that they're empowered in politics anymore and are just going independent and don't want to be involved with the parties.
I think that's interesting, actually. I've said that Bernie was the answer on the left to like the up-down problem as opposed to the left-right problem, and Trump's kind of been the answer on the right to the up-down like class problem as opposed to whatever. I think there might be some validity to what Leithy's saying there. What about the rest of y'all? Y'all think there's any validity to that?
Yeah, I think so too. I think that I think Bernie at one point when he first ran was that. I don't know anymore if he has
I don't know about now,
same type of bipartisan. I don't know if he has the same type of bipartisan support. But yeah, I think that the Republican Party and Democratic Party, they suffer from the same problem, is that they have a lot of voters that.
Can you show me that more Republicans that more independents than Republicans voted for Donald Trump? Can you show me that?
Not voted for Donald Trump. I'm just saying in terms of registration.
Well, that would be a sign that more independents were leaving the Republican Party, that people were no longer declaring themselves as Republican and instead being an independent but sharing Republican values. So can you show me, can you demonstrate what Lethy what you guys are saying, that both parties are hemorrhaging members? Because I don't believe you.
Yeah. So I can prove it just based on elections. Great. So if you look at the 2020 election, Joe Biden was elected because more people came out to vote who didn't vote.
We assume he was elected, right? We assume he was elected. We're still, jury's out.
Yeah, if you assume he was elected, he assumedly beat Donald Trump.
Yes.
And then in
with a record number of votes never before achieved. We have no idea how many dead people voted, but they all showed up, and it turned out for Joe Biden. Sure,
just assume Joe Biden. Just assume that he won. So in 2020,
if I was dead, I'd vote for Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm. And then in 2024, what happened was those voters who came out, who were more independent or who didn't like to come out and vote, they said, "I'm staying home," and then Donald Trump won the election. So it's basically a back and forth between the two parties, because people every 4 years don't trust what the previous administration is doing. They don't feel like they've been heard, and then they switch sides. So you're seeing the independent voters in this country making but they're making the decision on who becomes president. It's not Republicans, it's not Democrats anymore. It's the people in the middle. So every 4 years, you're seeing a Republican get elected and then a Democrat get elected. That doesn't mean that more Republicans are showing up, right?
Let's investigate this, because do you think more independents voted blue or voted red in the last election?
Good question.
In the last one, so 2020 they voted blue, and in 2024 they voted red. That's one of my points.
Okay.
Okay.
I agree with that.
No. Well, slow down here. You keep making assumptions that you're not proving. I really want you to prove this to me, because I don't believe you. Because we had a record number of Republicans turn out. So basically what I'm saying, if 80% of the voters were Republican, 20% were independent, that would not prove your point, especially if 60% of Democrat voters were registered Democrats, and the remaining 40% were of the 100% of voters that voted there were independents. That would not, in fact, prove your point that Republicans were deciding to be independents that then voted Republican. It doesn't prove your point. I'm asking you to prove your point because I don't believe it.
No. I think you're confusing what I'm saying. I'm not saying Republicans that decide to be independent. I'm saying just independents who don't have a party affiliation. More of them voted for Trump in 2024, and more of them voted for Biden in 2020. Now you can see it in the actual voting statistics. Just because you voted Republican doesn't mean you're a registered Republican. So when Trump got more votes in the state of Michigan, he won the state of Michigan by 2%. He lost it by maybe 2 or 3% in 2020. So that's not a large amount of folks who had to flip over from independent and say, oh, in 2020, I like Joe Biden. This time around, I like Donald Trump. It's not that a ton more Republicans came out to vote. It's that those independents decided that they like the Republican this time.
Greg,
does that make any more sense? Or
I just don't. I would like to see the breakdown. I understand what you're saying. I don't necessarily. I've been told this many times, but nobody's ever bothered to show it.
Yeah, Castle, you make a good.
It's an interesting claim because what it means is that because all right, so the original claim that you guys made was that people are unhappy with the Republican Party and the Democrat Party, so they're flowing into the independent range, right? But they would still have Republican or Democrat tendencies, right? Right? Okay.
Sure.
We're together so far. Okay. I'm just trying to understand your logic. So then if Donald Trump is elected, that would seem to mean that a large number of people who voted would have already been at one point a registered Republican and just went independent and just voted their party again as an independent, right? That's sure. Okay. That's
that makes sense. That makes sense.
And then maybe some true independents who are they just don't give a fuck. They pick a little column A, a little column B, don't care. Then they also voted. So what I'm asking is, you guys have made a very bold claim, and that is that the parties are losing people to being, and more people are becoming independent. I don't believe you, so I'm asking you to demonstrate it. You said you could demonstrate it by the number of independents that voted, and I'm saying I don't believe that you can, and I'm asking you to prove it out, which I don't think you can. I don't think that mathematically, I don't think you can do it, but I'm willing to let you try.
Castle, I can help you out if you want, man. If you need a right.
I was going to say, Jake, I think you want to step in, so go for it.
Okay, you want me to help you out with this argument that Grid's fucking putting out here? Just saying.
Sure,
if you want
go
that,
for it.
I could do that. Well, here's the thing. Grid is totally right. Can you prove your point that particularly that people that go independent, are they voting for their party after they go independent? This is a very good point from Grid 1. Now, I would argue that, remember, you have very new voters in a time where it's so divided, where everybody wants to vote, everybody has an opinion online, etc. So you see a vast majority, I think it was in 2020, you saw a record high of new registered voters, correct? Like this was a huge thing that we've seen. Now, probably more than likely, a lot of those registered voters, they registered. Now, they probably registered independent. Okay, same thing with 2024, et cetera. You see this all the time where you have a vast majority of people or a big a bump in registered voters. Now, my question to you, and by the way, going back to Leafy or whatever his name is, it is a record high. 45% of adults identify as independent, quote unquote, independent. This doesn't actually necessarily mean that the Republican Party or the Democratic Party are losing voters. This does show a stat of more registered voters that are younger that are trying to establish themselves as new voters. They don't know whether to vote left or right. However, I think Grid has a point that the majority of these people don't support the Gender Affirmative Care Act, LGBTQ, the woke shit, and you'll see them voting right-wing strictly on culture views, bro. And this is why Donald Trump won in a landslide.
So based on the Edison exit poll, in 2020, some 50%, So in 2020, 26% was a distant third to both Democrats and Republicans. Independents favored the Democratic candidate, but Donald Trump nonetheless improved his performance with key swing voter blocks. Some 50% of independents said they voted Harris. 45% said Trump, which is a 4-point improvement for Republicans from 2020. So they received a 4-point bump in the previous election.
Yeah, if you divide those numbers up by race and gender, you can actually see that the Hispanic vote actually bumped up. I think it was about like 10% or so for Donald Trump. Historically,
How's that working out
around,
for him?
well, it's working out great. I'm Hispanic anyway.
Listen,
working out great.
No Hispanic.
Hey, as our resident Hispanic,
hold on.
Jake, how's that working out for you, buddy?
It's working great, my friend. It's working fucking awesome.
He's a government employee.
There's two Hispanics here.
Works for the government.
Two of us here.
Yes, sir.
Two of us. And secondly,
let's get those. Yeah, two of us.
I just want to say,
as well.
Nobody hates illegal immigrants more than legal immigrants. That's all I'm saying.
That's true. That's true.
By the way, I'm not a legal immigrant. I was born in this country, but I am Hispanic. Baby. I am a brown person here. But yes, here, especially here in the Valley, actually, you can watch a video of mine that I did when I was interviewing people in McAllen, Texas, in the Lower Valley, the vast majority Hispanic people. Who are you going to vote for, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? Dude, 95% of them said Donald Trump, bro. I mean, Donald Trump really he really turned the tides here in the Lower Valley of Hispanics, where the border's there. Literally, I live like 40 minutes away from the border. The point is that when I interviewed those people, bro,
he really is an angry
when I interviewed those people, they were literally saying, yes, we need Donald Trump. We love Donald Trump. We follow his point of view, etc. So we did see a lot of Hispanics do that. And we saw blacks as well.
If I can ask you why those folks, especially in the RGV, went from maybe even Biden to Trump or Democrat to Trump. What do you think the number one reason was?
More than likely, it was because of the gas prices. That's just based off my video.
Would you say generally the economy, right?
Yeah,
what's
the economy.
That ICE number again? I got to report Jake.
So I think historically what Jake's talking about is correct. And you can see in 2016, Hillary absolutely killed it with Hispanics in Texas and Florida. And then ever since, the Latinos have been moving over to the Republican Party. But
no, historically, even with Obama, they've always been that way historically, bro.
Well, I mean, part of it.
Yeah, I'm saying Hillary was the last. She was the last Democrat.
Well,
she was the last one.
Let me just.
I think if you look at a state like Texas now, and if you went out and asked people who they're voting for, and Gibbs can do this too, they're all switching back over because they don't feel like the economy is doing well for them, and we're seeing it in polling in Texas again.
No, well, hold on.
Go for it.
Well, let me give an anecdote. Hold on. Let me give an anecdote example.
I am
real quick.
Real quick,
go ahead.
Shit, sorry. No, really quick. Castle, I'm gonna plan to do a video. I'm gonna go to the same fucking street area, interview these people about the ICE situations, and see if they would vote for Trump now rather than before. So I'm going to do that experiment for you, and let's see where they stand.
I will watch that video.
I think it's funny though, because even illegal Hispanics are split on Trump, right? So this is interesting. I was talking to a cartel guy the other day, because there's a lot of them here in South Texas.
How do you find these people?
Don't worry. Yeah, and he goes, you know what the Coyotes do now? And I go, what's that? He goes, we're pro-Mexican. I go, okay. And he goes, so what we do is we send the Venezuelans first to get caught, and then we sneak the rest of the Mexicans in after they get caught. And I was like, haha, that's funny. And I hear one of the fucking people in the back of this club we're at go, oh no, he's not lying. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. Well, awesome. So he goes, yeah, we like Trump. He's strong.
Talking to the cartel guy.
Listen. There's business owners of all varieties here. Some are like nice and legit, and some are not. But I'm not gonna fucking pretend that they don't appear in goddamn San Antonio. Like San Antonio is like the Las Vegas of fucking for Mexico. Like that, they all love to come here and they love Corpus because the Tejano fucking culture.
Really, I wonder why.
That's true.
It's the Tejano. It's the Tejano. Yeah, and Selena. And fucking
the tacos aren't good, like on the border in Brownsville or even closer.
Yeah, they're good, but like it's like it's like the culture center. Like if you go to Texas, Austin's like the culture center for like white people, right? Like in the and then San Antonio is like
that's where all the Californians moved.
And then San Antonio is like the culture center for like Hispanics. Like you go from Guadalajara to go take photos on the Riverwalk. Like I don't know. Maybe side note, but yeah. So to speak, like even illegals are kind of split on Trump. The cartels, even though they get the bomb, they seem to like him. Venezuelans, not so much.
Well, did you see that? I mean, I just saw a guy who voted in California who was like an illegal who voted for Trump like 3 times or something. So, I mean, I think you kind of have one of those those prisoner dilemmas where they're
well,
like,
I mean,
hey, if I vote for Trump,
that's
maybe
ironic,
they want to.
Well, I'm actually going to interview.
That's ironic.
Even the illegals, knowing he's going to get deported, voted for Trump
Yeah,
over.
I mean,
there's a
He's
season
like,
with like
I want to be legal and have that fucking
Well,
policies from
well,
Trump.
it's funny.
That's why he did it.
Well, we were
I don't
talking
know
about
how you can lose this debate better than showing me that the illegals are now voting for Trump.
Well, it's really funny because we were talking to somebody recently, and they go, "Oh, my uncle's getting deported after voting for Trump," and I'm like, "That's sus." You know, the reopening of the shit. I'm like, "Wait, I don't know. We want that," but you know, I just find it like interesting that it's like, okay, I'll give you an example. I'm setting up another one-on-one interview coming up in 2 weeks, probably with a girl from Venezuela that lived under Chavez, and you know, after I went on that Wick show, right? He asked what I thought about them bombing Chavez's monument, you know, or mausoleum. And I asked her what she thought about that, and let's just say she had some choice words for Chavez. But like, it's interesting how like split, just like the same ethnic groups can be on Trump. It's like a divide.
Oh yeah,
Like, it was much more split before Trump, Gibbs. That's the thing. Trump has won over minority groups, blacks, browns,
People
Asians,
who
et cetera.
historically don't even vote.
Yeah, and won them over, bro. And won them over.
But
So,
again, this
again,
isn't
black
about
people,
Trump.
but
This
this
is
is a good sign
about
that the Democratic
people
Party's
fleeing the
dying.
Democrat Party. And so when the illegals aren't even backing the Democrat Party anymore, I think you're in trouble. So
another pretty good argument on that, but
they can't vote though. Grid, they can't vote in this.
well,
country.
apparently they can vote 3
I mean, they
times.
can't vote, but they still do.
Well, they try, but their
Well,
votes don't
they try,
count.
yeah.
Well, hold on. We had that superintendent in
And some
Wisconsin.
succeed,
They
right?
vote for
Castle?
that.
Didn't we have
In
the
California, they can
superintendent?
vote. I don't like it, but they can do it.
Well, that superintendent in Wisconsin was illegal guy is getting deported, and he voted for Biden twice, or Obama or Biden. Or
Which guy?
The superintendent.
I have a question, though.
Oh,
I have a
that
quick
guy.
question.
I think I did hear. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Castle, I want to ask you this. Do you support voter ID all across the board? Obviously, us as Republicans are pushing voter picture ID all across the board in the United States. Do you support that?
So
That's a
first
SAVE
off,
Act, right?
Yeah, we're on stolen land right now. So no, I'm kidding.
Oh my God! Stolen land.
Nobody's illegal. It's still.
But have you considered that the Dow is over 50,000?
Yeah, that's over 50,000. No, I'm actually one of the few. Well, I don't even know if I'm the few.
I want
think,
my 40 acres in a mule then.
I think you'd be surprised how many liberals support voter ID.
Yeah, they
it's
do.
just that the party itself argues against it for political reasons. But yeah, I think having an ID, and in most states, they do that. And it's a state rule where you have to present an ID. So yeah, I'm for that.
Okay, fair enough. Now you stated that you were the few. No, actually, I think the majority of liberals, or even people that are independent, support this idea. Castle.
No, I said the majority. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the majority. Yeah, totally agree on that.
Yeah.
Totally get you on that. However, it's the Democratic Party that are pushing, or at least the politicians that are pushing this as a racist policy against Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans, bro. So we can agree, again, another fucking reason that they're failing and that they're dying out, that the majority of the American people don't support them. We saw this, even CNN agreed with it.
Who's going to pick our cotton? Who's going to pick our crops?
To push back on these things. So there are things like voter ID laws, or even like banning stock trading, right? And for Congress people, these are like really popular things that I think it's like they're 80-20 issues. Even you could even say like the trans folks in sports. That's another 80-20 issue that I think
that's an 80-20, but I think banning that's an 80-20. I totally get you there on that. But however, I think banning stock trade when it comes to politicians is way more than 80-20. I think it's probably around like
sure. But I'm saying 30, like these are like majority issues 70. that most people agree with, right? But these aren't issues that are on the top of their mind like the economy is, or even if immigration or the border is. So I think what Republicans are making the mistake. I'm seeing it, and I think in some of your guys' arguments too, it's like very Twitter centric, where you're trying to push back on Democrats or what Joe Biden did or what open borders, this and that. It's like the voters who are coming out in the midterms, they're not thinking about these things, whether it's stock trading or the SAVE Act. They're thinking about how their electric bills are going to be cheaper, groceries are going to be cheaper. And I think the more you focus on that, or healthcare, the better you're going to turn out. But I think when you bog down in like issues that Joe Biden did, or like whatever open borders or trans issues, It's not helping you guys at all, which is giving the Democrats hope. You're actually helping us.
I disagree with you. No, it's actually
you brought up the economy. I think that's a good one,
is.
Right? We heard from everybody about eggs for I don't even know how long, for a while. They all remember that eggs are $6 a cart, right? And then Trump posted an interesting meme the other day, and it was like, 32 states or 31 states have gas under $3 the first time in like 6 years, under Trump. When you say something like, okay, it's the economy, and then I drive to California and it's $6, $7 a gallon, but I'm in Texas and it's $2.15. Which one is telling me the economy is better? Like,
not only that, Gibbs, I saw gas prices here in the Rio Grande Valley up to $1.98.
Oh, it
literally went below $2.
Yeah, so what do you think it is right now? Last time I was in San Diego, like a couple months ago, it was like $6-7.
Yeah, I haven't paid for gas in like 3 years, but the last I looked at a station around me, it's like $4.50.
3 years?
$4.50 is outrageous.
How did you not pay for gas for 3 years, bro? You got a sugar mama or what?
I drive a hydrogen vehicle.
A hydrogen vehicle. Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool.
Okay. Hydrogen, like they it runs off of water or some shit like that. I don't even know what that is. Oh, okay.
Steam power.
Okay, so you can only drive like 3 miles at a time, and before you have to refill it or something like that.
Well, I mean, it has 400 miles to each fill up, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty good.
That's not good at all. Okay.
I mean, I haven't paid for any fuel for 3 years, so I'm not complaining.
Fair enough.
Yeah, yes, your point.
Okay.
Gas prices are lower. I'll give Trump credit on that. I think that's one thing that people can look at on a daily basis and see, like, okay, this is actually going down in price, but it's literally everything else that's not.
Again, you guys keep turning it into this Trump discussion, which I'm happy to have a Trump discussion, but you keep turning it into this Trump discussion. But I just don't look. Interest rates are going down. They're probably going to go down more ahead of the primary, at least the primaries. There's a lot of things that Trump's doing in the economy that's going to make things better. So while I'm happy to entertain the Trump discussion, I just really, really need you guys to talk about why Democrats are fleeing the party. You guys keep sidetracking into Trump.
I'm not.
This isn't a Trump discussion, really.
You're saying why the Democratic Party is dying. I'm saying this is why it's not dying. It's because of pushback against Trump policies that are causing it not to die. I mean, if you look at the Democratic Party in the races coming up in the past races this past year, they keep winning them. So I don't know how a dying party can keep winning races.
Mondami won, Mondami won, but then he's now
in a blue state.
People hate him, right?
We're talking about states all over. We're talking about special elections, like the one in Texas that Lethe mentioned. In Tennessee, there was another special election that was pretty close too. So all across Supreme Court races in states, the Democrats aren't losing these races. So I'm saying, how can you say that it keeps dying?
They are.
People are leaving. Maybe you can say people are leaving, but they're winning races still.
Well, they didn't win here in Tennessee, and if anything, it's getting worse for Democrats here. I mean, I don't know.
That's one state grid. There are 49 others.
Example, but I don't. I can't speak for Virginia, but I think Virginia's has buyer's remorse on voting in the person they voted in because of the higher expenditures, which they were promised. We're going to stop spending so much money. As a state, we're not going to do it. They haven't even
created a budget for this year, Grid. How can they have higher expenditures based on no budget that's been set yet?
I think they have. I believe Virginia has created a budget, haven't they?
No, it's February. Even New York. This is what happens. It's like, oh, Mamdani's raising taxes. You're like, these are budget crises that were from the previous mayor, the previous governor, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's their fault.
Which was also a Democrat, Castle. That's the thing. It was also
in New York City but in Virginia it was a Republican governor. But I'm just saying, it's like every time somebody gets elected that's Democrat, it's like, oh, the previous person, whether it was a Democrat or not, it's always the other person wasn't their fault. It's the new guy in charge.
I can totally see your point on that. I totally say that, like, it's the buyer's remorse and they're always going to flip-flop, etc. Totally get you there. However, my point is, or at least me and Grid's point is that when you look at the Democratic Party, again, these guys are dying because of the social issues. Castle, I know you want to talk about like the polls, etc., that don't actually accurately depict the American people's feelings on this type of topics, bro. Again, we saw Kamala Harris that she was predicted to fucking win this by a landslide. That's not the case.
No,
Castle.
you don't think that she was actually going to win by a landslide.
Well,
no,
that's what the polls were fucking. That's what the polls were doing.
No,
you had people that were high profile lefties that were going on their channel saying that Donald Trump was going to lose by a landslide.
That's not like a scientific answer, though. It's like
I'm not talking about scientific. I mean, it doesn't need to be scientific, bro.
Anecdotally, I feel like I had gone on a lot of panels during that period, and I could stand.
I'm not saying that the lefty got personally going to win.
I can stand by the fact I was the only person that at the time, the only one that said Trump was going to win by a landslide. All right. Like, and they were like, no, you're an idiot. And then, lo and behold, Papa Gibbs was right. The political prophet, as always. But, you know.
Fair enough, Gibbs. I did not predict that he was going to win by a landslide. So I said he was going to win, not by a landslide. So you got me on there.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's well documented. There was a lot of this hemming and hawing, and, Kamala's going to dominate. It's the honeymoon, and all this bullshit. And, like, you know, nobody was tapped in. And I think that there's something to be said for that. There's this distrust of academia. There's a distrust of the media. There's a distrust of, Trump's numbers are low, but I've seen crazy low numbers for the Dems. You know, it seems like Pelosi's on her way out. Schumer's on his way out. Like, who knows if they're actually going to run again. You know, if they do, they only got one more time because they're old as fucking the Crypt Keeper. AOC is the heir apparent, and she fucking had a 30-second pause the other day. Ilhan Omar was the other heir apparent. She seems like she might be getting deported. Who knows? I feel like the Dems are in a little bit of trouble, and then all the fraud accusations. And then, you know, there's Georgia, where I was told it was decided that it was a totally up and above board election, and now it looks like there's going to be charges filed, and people are loyaling up. It seems like there's some struggle.
Waiting for that.
Yeah,
like, please,
and by the way,
for when it happens. But what I really want to get to is the whole idea that everything that's going on with the Epstein files is going to create brand new stars in the Democrat Party. Ted Lieu looking amazing right now. Jasmine Crockett looking amazing right now. Y'all hating on Massey. Like,
Crockett's career, you realize Crockett's career is done, right? Like in Texas, like she's not getting elected for another spot.
She's not going to get reelected, bro.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you this.
In the House.
No, they moved their seat.
Jasmine Crockett.
Okay.
She's about to get back, and now she's running for Senate against it's probably gonna be Paxton. There ain't no way she beats Paxton in Texas. That's fucking crazy to even consider.
It's a dub, bro. It's a dub.
Yeah,
but if you think Jasmine Crockett is a fucking all-star, like that's who you bring up as your representative of the Democratic Party, that people are not leaving it. Jasmine Crockett, really,
what I said.
You have to realize, you have to realize that when it comes to the memes here online, when it comes to the memes, the right-wing memes are totally dominating the fucking internet, bro. You had fucking Bananas and Rice, the fucking Somalian fucking 16-year-old that said that she got fucking attacked by ICE, which there's no proof on that. And then she was saying that Somalians are just like bananas and rice. Somalians being American is like bananas and rice. Do you know any fucking real American, like actual American that's been here before the Somalians that eats bananas and rice? Of course not. Nobody can relate to this fucking woman. Bro, the Democrats are putting up these individuals.
You don't know Cubans and Jamaicans
that are talking about fucking bananas and rice, bro.
Like together or like separate items? Like what do we...
But this is like what I'm talking about with kind of like echo chamber stuff. Nobody, if you went out and said, "Have you seen the bananas and rice meme?"
Do you eat them?
No.
I mean,
no, but I'm
separately.
Saying nobody knows what you're
anybody
talking
here
about.
eat bananas and rice?
Wait,
anybody in the chat?
Do you not eat rice?
Eat bananas and rice.
You don't eat rice.
I don't eat bananas in general.
Do you eat? Hold on. Okay, you eat rice. How about like
I'm Mexican?
How about banana bread? Do you eat banana bread? If I like,
I'll eat banana bread. Yeah.
Okay, so you eat bananas and rice.
Not together.
Oh, okay.
Not together. All right. It's not a meal that I would say
I
need some bananas and rice.
Banana.
I mean, what about platano? You don't eat platano? How about platano? Platano's pretty good. That's a banana.
That's good.
I've eaten that with rice.
Nevertheless, it's not an American meal. It's not an American meal, bro. All right. Nobody fucking eats bananas with rice.
What is an American meal? Is that a hamburger? Is it a hamburger?
My man's hating on the platano.
Hamburger, a fucking hot dog, some pizza, some fucking American
hot dogs
food.
German. Hot dogs German, but go ahead.
No, it's not, bro. We adopted that as our own culture. We didn't adopt bananas and rice. Do you ever go to a tailgate party for the Super Bowl or the NFL or anything like that? And they're serving bananas and rice. Do you ever fucking see that?
Yeah, but I also go to a Super Bowl and I go, give me that brat. Where is that word brat from?
Brock?
Bratwurst.
Bratwurst.
Yeah, that's a German word or a Polish word or some place.
It's Middle European.
Yeah, it's some place where they go in their fucking language.
Yeah, this is a leftist argument, bro, where people will say that because hot dogs come from Germany and hamburgers come from this and pizza comes from Italian. Therefore, you have no culture. You American white people have no culture because you fucking stole from everybody else. This is a leftist argument.
From Jersey and hamburgers have nothing to do with Hamburg.
That can tell me where Hamburg is?
Well, I mean,
but hamburgers have nothing to do with Hamburg.
Hamburger goes that Lucy place in like fucking up north somewhere. But yeah, what the answer is? What's American food is beef. It's what's for dinner. That's the answer, Jake. I'm buying American beef.
Okay,
from your beef.
And buy beef from his ranch.
Yeah. Go to Saltgrass.
We have a culture here in the United States, okay, that's been fucking historically. Yeah, hamburgers, some pizza, etc. And the minorities want to say that you just stole it from the rest of the world. That's fucking
pizza's
bullshit.
From China, technically.
We are okay now. The pizza's from China. Okay, I heard the pizza's from Italian. We cannot even fucking agree on where pizza comes from. Doesn't fucking matter.
Well, tomatoes are from America, so they didn't even have the sauce.
Point is, bro, is that we have our American food, we have our American culture, and minorities such as Leafy over here, several of these fucking lefties, and
you're a minority.
Yeah, I'm a minority.
We won't be for long, Grid. We're coming along.
These fuckers will say that we don't have any culture. Fuck you. We are the fucking dominant fucking powerhouse in the whole entire world.
That's right. Spanish.
Grid doesn't even know where a hamburger comes from. Like the ignorant.
Yeah, Hamburg. Yeah, I get it. Fucking Germany.
No,
Who cares?
Hamburger does not come from Hamburg.
I think it comes from Jersey.
False.
Literally comes from
wherever fucking comes from. That's not the point. The point is that they want to fucking come at us and say that you're stealing culture. Would you, Grid? Let me ask you this: do you agree with the left saying that we're just stealing cultures all across the world that can't even agree where it comes from originally?
You can't steal a culture, man. You can't.
Exactly.
No, we just integrate them into American culture.
Just like every other culture throughout history, right? Just like every other culture throughout history.
All right. Because I think people ignore culture so much, and it's really annoying. So noodles were brought to Italy by Marco Polo from China.
That's right.
Gibbs, who
also brought the idea of pizza. Right? But hold on. Is that cultural appropriation?
Just
because now spaghetti is Italian food, but we make some of the best spaghetti in the world here in the United States.
Spaghetti by default is actually American food, and by specifically it's Hispanic food because Spain conquered the Aztecs, the Incans, and guess where the tomato is from? There'd be South America, Central America, and so there was no tomato sauce.
That's true.
And European food tastes like ass until they got to the New World. So you're welcome.
That's true.
You're welcome.
And we added spices.
The whole reason was they didn't have any spices, and they had to go everywhere to get them.
Yeah. They're playing Creed as they pulled up to fight the Aztecs. I get it, but. Anyway,
so
back to the culture that's overtaking America.
Culture has been appropriated, brother. Culture.
So this whole argument about fucking America.
I'm sorry to punch you in the dick, but unfortunately, all culture is appropriated. Nobody's original, bro.
Well, there you go. I can accept that. But when you fucking attack us Americans that we have no culture, that's fucking garbage.
Yeah,
we have more culture than the Mexicans, than the fucking
black culture.
Russians, etc. The black culture, we definitely have better fucking
hold on, you a Texan?
Culture there.
Are you a Texan, Jake?
Yeah, but
hold on.
But guess who gave the blacks that culture? The cornbread, the watermelons. It was the white people, bro.
Well, Jake, hold on. Well, guess who gave Texas that culture? It wasn't the fucking Americans. It was the vaqueros, like fucking Juan Seguin that fucking beat Santa Ana's ass. And then guess what? It was the Apaches that teamed up with fucking Sam Houston. America didn't give Texas shit. I don't want to hear about American culture. Texan culture supreme.
Well, Tennessee saved Texas ass.
Davy Crockett was good.
You're welcome.
Davy Crockett was good.
Davy Crockett,
he was good cannon fodder for us so that the men could take care of business.
He fought in the Alamo, bro.
Yeah, him and Jim Bowie.
Remember the Alamo,
Yep.
mofo.
Yep.
I'm never going to forget that ass beating that Texas took.
Yeah. Well, we killed 800 of their elite shock troops, and then Sam Houston did.
Elite shock.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, bro.
Santa Ana's the Napoleon of the West. I'm just saying, that's what they call him.
If Mexico would have took over the Alamo, I'd be literally living in Mexico right now. So thank the Lord in heaven that I am not a fucking actual Mexican. I'm American right now. So God bless.
Well, you're actually a Texan because President Lamar of Texas whooped Mexico's ass and extended the border from the Nueces River to the Rio Grande before we got annexed. And then that's the excuse we used to invade Mexico with Zachary Taylor, because we said this was disputed land and it was our land.
Didn't we really invade something that we owned at one point anyway?
Yeah, because we said the Mexican troops were in the Rio Grande Valley, and then we said that was ours because Texas recognized it as ours, and then we invaded Mexico.
I mean, is it really invading if we're just it's more like repossession, right?
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
You can make that argument. Mm-hmm. You can make that argument.
So back to fraud. Has the Democratic Party just gone and turned into
fraud is what it is.
Have they turned into Tammany Hall? Are they subverting the American people vote with illegals? Are they submitting taxpayers by giving the money away to the fraud? Mm-hmm. Is this honestly?
You guys changed my mind because in the wise words of Billie Irish, right? Whatever the fuck her name is. Irish. Nobody is illegal on stolen land. So at this point, I've already been convinced. I joined Castle. I joined Leafy over here. I'm a Democrat now. There you go. Nobody's illegal on stolen land. I'm down with you guys.
I knew that argument would seal the deal. I knew it would work.
Billie Irish. Thank you, Billy. Such wise words from this woman over here.
Well, since you hold that to be true, I'm going to send some people to hang out with you in your house. Don't worry about them. They're not drug dealers or anything.
They're definitely not going to steal my shit. They're not going to steal my computer. I can still
definitely
stream.
Good people.
Yeah. They're definitely good people. That's what Billy says.
I feel like we have gone real into the weeds. I think we've totally lost topic, and we're at about an hour and a half, so we might as well just call it there. Because I hear that Jake, this is to you, by the way. I'm going to give Puta bitch fucking 30 minutes to talk about casual sex if she wants.
Yes, let's do it.
But then she might get a little more time depending on when I have to pick this bitch up. And we're going to go fucking have some casual sex. So that's how much time she's got to like convince me that it's bad, I guess. But
Is she still in your chat grid?
No idea.
She was.
But she could have 30 minutes.
Are you coming over here to debate her?
Message her right now.
Yeah, y'all can figure that out. What we're going to do now is we're going to give some people some outros and closing thoughts. We'll start with Mr. Castle while they organize with
paging page.
Yes,
please report to the chat.
Hold on. I think that we can find an easier way to do the pager real quick. Watch this. All right.
Anyway. What are you going to do? Like talk about Kel or something? Is that she'll magically appear?
No, I'm just going to pull up an actual real-time image right now.
Lethe, are you a Taoist?
Of Paige. And this is what she openly said. This is a real-time picture of her vagina right now. So we
dry.
So we can talk about the casual sex that. Yeah, she's the one who said this. So I'm just saying we'll have that conversation.
Watching that.
Yeah, at one point in history it was a fertile land here in the Sahara, and now it's fucking desert. So all right.
I got something for this.
On that note, while we do that, Castle, go ahead and give us an outro closing thoughts.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I mean, I think that based on the discussion, it sounds like we agreed on some points that the Democratic Party itself is unpopular, and you can find, instances of people leaving it and going more independent. But I think that term dying or dead or whatever you want to call it, it's just not really going to come to fruition as quick as the other two panelists think it is. I don't think it's ever going to happen as long as we have a two-party system. But think one of the things I wanted to bring up, and I can kind of end with, is that the Democratic Party lives and dies with Donald Trump. And I think Donald Trump has been the biggest thorn in their side in terms of regaining power. And what's really interesting is that if you look at midterm elections, when he's not on the ballot, a lot of the people that stay home um, come out and vote for Donald Trump in the general election, and they stay home during the midterms when he's not on the ballot. Now, but Donald Trump's not on the ballot again this midterm. He's not going to be on the ballot for the general election in 2 years after that. So I think if any party has reason to kind of worry a little bit, it's the Republican Party, to see what happens once Donald Trump isn't going to be at the top of the ticket or have as much influence on the Republican Party as he does now. So right now, I think Democrats are in one of those lulls. We'll see how they perform in the midterms. If it's anything as people predict now, I think they're going to see a bit of a resurgence until we figure out what's in store for 2028. And if not, then I would concede to Grid and Jake here that the Democrats are in a bit of trouble going into the 2028 general. So it's a matter of time until we see what those results come to. But right now, based on any polling, whether you believe it or not, I think you have to lead some credence to it. The Republicans do it, whether you think they don't. I think they have their own pollsters who are making sure that they're towing certain lines and saying certain things. So I think these things are important. So we'll see what happens, but I don't think the Democratic Party is dying anytime soon, guys. It's gonna be here for a bit.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Grid.
Yeah, I think I illustrated multiple times that the Democratic Party is, while not imploding, I think people are fleeing from it. I think it's people are running away because they don't like the socialist communist rhetoric. They don't like the open borders policy. They don't like the free spending. They don't like all of the things, and they're sick of it. The normal, everyday, average Democrat is not a philosophy bro that is esoteric and thinking of all of these different things. They are trying to feed their families, and they can't do it when a Democrat's in office, and they know it, and they're getting rid of Democrats as fast as they can. By the way, if it were in fact true that the Republican Party and the independents vote only for Trump, Trump backing people in midterms would guarantee a victory, and it does not. I think I reject that sentiment. I reject that statement. I think that Republicans are smart about who they vote and who they back. If they'll back a good candidate, they won't back a bad one. Democrats will back bad candidates and ride them right to the gates of hell, and that's why people are fleeing the Democrat Party.
Most Dems aren't philosophy bros, but we got one of them that is, Leafy.
So it's my turn?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so right now we're dealing with a shift in the second quarter where Democrats are up, whereas they were tied before the end of 2025. I don't see this as indicative of anything in particular. I think more people are coming out as independent, which, with the shit show that's going on, that's what I expect. But when you're talking about who's going to back a garbage candidate, like literally a party that was trying to bring Matt Gaetz in, can't seem to stop PDF files and actually expose these things, like anybody that's still supporting that, I'm going to say is like damn near cult-like, and we don't have that in the Democrat Party. Like just alone with the whole Gaza situation, we had more people that were willing to stay home and not come out and vote over basic things that have nothing to do with the politics going on in America. So with that being the case, I think it is a terrible thing that Trump galvanizes the Democrat Party to vote. And I think if they can't figure out how to get people to vote without Donald Trump being around or being a threat, that is where the primary problem is going to run into ground. But other than that, I don't think the Democrat Party is hemorrhaging voters to the rate that is being implied in this. And I don't think it's communist policies or anything crazy like that. It's just literally people are burnt out and they don't want to deal with politics, and they're hoping for something better in the future.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. And last but not least, Mr. Varr.
Yeah, so let me just shoot this out just right off the bat. When I mentioned the violence of the left, and this is why a lot of people are noticing these situations, both opponents, Castle as well as Leafy over here, didn't actually address any of that. They didn't even address if that was right or wrong of that situations. They didn't even want to go into those topics, which is fine. They want to focus that Donald Trump, as according to these polls that other people are doing on CNN or whatever the polls are, it seems like it's an even match. Seems like it's like equal or something like that. Then they also bring up the fact that, well, hey guys, it kind of fluctuates throughout the years, which is true, 100% true. Leafy in his closing statement stated right now that people are just tired of politics and this and that. You do realize that during the Obama administration, even during the Bush administration, or even the 90s and the 80s, people weren't nearly as involved in politics as they are today. So there is nobody getting tired of politics. When it comes to political content here online, it's the most viewed of anything. You know, you can even look back at the Super Bowl right now. People didn't fucking give a fuck if the Seahawks beat the fucking New England Patriots. They were all talking about the halftime show, which had to do with culture issues. So no, people are not tired of politics. It's not the case at all. People are looking at politics more closely than ever these days. So I would argue, yes, when you look at the Democratic Party and they've been so fucking inconsistent with the violence as well as the scamming of Minnesota at this point with the Somalian scams, and time and time again the Democratic Party has failed. But you have some particular people that have historically voted Democrat, so they're on the fence of that. Yes, you're going to see more and more individuals. If the Democratic Party keeps going that direction, yes, most people are going to go independent rather than vote for Donald Trump. Your argument about how when Donald Trump leaves the office, oh, you're gonna see these right wingers not know where the direction is. That's also bullshit. Again, you look back in history, Democrats and Republicans have been pretty equal when it comes to elections. Now we have an actual face because politics is much more divided than ever. We have more of an identity with MAGA now, right? But that's the only real difference. That's kind of a ridiculous statement to say. But at the end of the day, guys, yeah, the Democrats are dying at this point. I'm not saying they're dead, and I'm not saying that they can or cannot recover. But I am saying at this point, yeah, they're dying because they've been shooting themselves in the foot. With that being said, I'll end my closing statement.
Well, thank you so much for that. Next week, I think at 1:00, we will be interviewing Vanessa. I'm not even going to try to say her last name because that's even more Hispanic than I am. It is some crazy shit. But if Vanessa B is going to be here, one, if you like hot women, she's a baddie. And two, this bitch will teach you how to make money on all sorts of shit. She's forgotten more about selling real estate than I'll probably ever know. So I'm pretty excited. It's going to be good stuff. So we'll have her here next Wednesday at 1. Monday, we'll be on Primes. And Sunday this week, coming up, Sunday, we're going to be having our contender series, basically the playoffs of our first season of the Debate Championship Series. It's going to be Tyler versus Fabian Liberty, Average Debate Enjoyer versus Fabian. So it'll be good. They're going to be arguing about
Tyler's going to get whooped.
It's going to be exciting. And this is one of our unbiased judges saying this. We might have to rethink that one. But
just calling it now.
I was unaware of this fucking debate tournament. So why?
Just get Anthony.
Don't worry. Good news,
my
Jake.
boy, but Fabian's gonna whoop.
Good news, Jake. That we're starting next season soon after this with our yearly Grand Prix, so you'll be able to get back into it, and then we'll be able to turn into the regular season after our invitational Grand Prix. So there's plenty of chances to join, and the winner of this season is going to get a real fancy prize, and then the winner of the Grand Prix is going to go along with Lactoid. We're going to reveal a trophy that we've gotten at the end for the season that was paid for by Skiz Tech, and it's going to be very nice. I'm excited. So,
hey, while we're talking about it, Saturday night I'm doing the debate show on my channel. They're 5-minute 1v1 debates. Castle, you've done it before, and Jake, you've done it before. Lethe, I'm not sure you have. It's a great show. Winner takes home $100.
Yes, and I guess here shortly, we're going to be teaching people why you should have casual sex and not be a cunt. So I'm pretty excited.
She's not responded. Not respond. There's no response.
No, nothing.
I'm just
Fucking
gonna
spam her ass.
I'm just gonna message her right now and be like, "We ready? The horses are charted. The chariot's ready to go."
I'm so curious on this because I only saw y'all's stream earlier this afternoon about the situation. So I really want to watch this.
I mean, I'm ready. I'm like, "Are we ready? We waiting." Jake said she said she messaged you about moderating. We here. We not clear. Like, let's fucking kill a steer. I don't fucking know. Like, it's fucking getting wild down here. I just am dumbfounded that these people think that I'm gonna run. Listen, I'm sitting here slowing down my Pinocha getting part of fucking this bitch real quick. Also, I don't know. By the way, my chat said this. I don't know if Jake gets the honorary Hispanic person title when he doesn't speak Spanish.
I don't. Yeah, that's
Neither
true.
do you.
Wow.
I do speak Spanish.
Way too American, bro.
Is a wetback.
Yeah. Well, here's the story on that, bro. Actually, my mother actually blames herself why I don't speak Spanish because I was the baby of the family. I was the baby of the family. So my first brother and my second brother, they were taken care of by her mother at the time. That she would only speak Spanish, etc. So when I was older, she was already too old to take care of the kids. So I went to my dad's side of grandma to take care of me when I was a baby. But grandma, my side of my father's grandma, she knew Spanish and English, so she would talk to me in English, and I never picked up the language growing up. So,
damn.
Both my kids
mom
speak Chinese. So,
oh shit, really? Yeah. Well, they're half China.
My oldest son speaks English, Chinese, French, and Spanish. Not very much Spanish, but a lot of French.
Yeah, it seems like I just messaged him. I'm going to give him another 5 minutes, but it seems like ella tenga un fucking, I don't know,
I sent you a link. Come on over if you guys want to, Gibbs and Jake and Castle. If you guys want the link, I'll drop it to you. But come on over and hang out. I'll be up a little bit.
Yeah, I'll go join y'all. We'll wait 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna go to.
I'll go over there too, Grid.
I'm gonna go to the dance hall.
Y'all have fun with that. I have a debate.
Oh yes, Levy. Thank you for filling in, Levy. By the way, I appreciate it.
Would you be willing to debate Marte instead of Page?
I don't know who the fuck Marte is.
Wait, Marte on what?
I like
on casual sex.
I don't.
That's trash panda.
Hold on. Here's the problem.
I didn't hear you.
Marte is a trash panda.
Here's the problem.
Trash panda.
Yeah, think about it. What he's calling it.
Wow.
Marte's black. Why are you betraying your own race, bro?
But hold on.
It's not my fault he's a trash panda. I didn't make him a trash panda.
Hold on. Before we get sidetracked on whether or not someone is fucking a panda, let me just say, I the only reason I'm doing this is because Paige messaged me like 15 times saying, I fucking dingleberry sucked on fucking Jake's nuts to set this debate up after your shit. We could do it right fucking meow. So, no offense to Marty, but I'd like to go get my dick sucked. So, unless he's planning on flying down here, growing a vagina, and then some real hot tits, I don't think that he's going to get that job done. And we can debate that at a different date or time, but I'm already postponing shit right now for this. So let's move over to Grids.
I put the link to my stream in the group chat back there. So come on by if you want. Marte's over here like, what's a trash panda in regards to this? So he's not understanding. I won the shit out of that debate. Can't even be a question. It's crazy. I got Gibbs in the back. What's up, my man Gibbs?
How you doing? Are you doing all right? God damn.
I'm just celebrating. I'm taking a victory lap. Obviously, I won the shit out of that debate. No, they didn't even make any points. Like, nothing they said had anything to do with the damn prompt. Like, all they did was say, Trump, look, Trump did this. Look. It's crazy.
I'll be honest. I got bippity boppity boo. Have I got a spell for these dims?
I'm waiting.
It's called credibility, and they don't have none of it.
If you want to debate on casual sex for like a 15-minute debate on casual sex, we can get Marte up here. He'll do it.
I don't particularly want to debate about anything right now. We just hosted a show.
Are you still you've been grooming for like 6 fucking hours?
Bro, listen, it takes a lot to stay looking this fucking sexy, man.
Damn. You prep more than most women.
Bro, because this shit grows like a motherfucker, bro. Like, I'm fucking eating my hair, and I wasn't eating my hair this morning.
Yeah. The Page debate would have been better, to be honest with you. I did send Page the link. We got Jake Varr up in his house.
I gotta fucking near my video or something. This is awful.
What's up? Jake, how you doing, man?
Yeah, chilling, bro. By the way, Paige did message me. So
send her the link. I sent her the link.
Okay, let me send her the link.
She better hurry this fuck up.
If she
Time
knows,
is ticking.
if she has it, I don't know why. She said, "Hi, want to host that Gibbs debate impromptu. It will be quick."
Yeah,
so I just saw it.
We're here, man. Let's go.
Well, yeah, I'm down. Let's go, Paige versus Gibbs. I'm more than happy. If she wants me as the moderator, that's fine. Just keep it that way. I'm cool with
Marte,
that.
Lethe's the one that said that, and he's not here, so I don't know. I don't know what.
I don't know.
If he comes by, you're welcome to ask him about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me see if we're going to get this debate kicked off, and otherwise I'll bring everybody up. So
I need to take a leak. I'll be back.
Yeah, Jake. Damn it.
Well, what's up?
Obviously, I won the shit out of that debate. They couldn't even engage with any of my fucking points.
Easily, bro.
All they did was like, Trump, Trump, Trump.
They had no real arguments, Grid. Like there was no real arguments on like the violence of the arguments of
their
things.
Data was
nothing.
Wrong. Like their data actually backed me up, which was awesome. I love that.
I saw that was fucking epic, by the way. That they were actually agreeing with some of the points there that totally fucking neglected their points.
Go take your leak, man. Go take your leak.
Yeah, I'll be back real quick.
I just keep everybody entertained. I can carry this whole show on my back.
I will say that's a reason sometimes I'm willing to have like somebody that's just like captured, like for lack of a better term, because then they will fight you on every point, like, and they're not going to concede. And sometimes that makes a good show. You know,
well,
whatever.
Levy never actually conceded anything. The data that he put forth backed my point up, and then he couldn't. So then he searched anxiously and found an NPR fucking bullshit article that supported his position. But I won't accept NPR.
What about Gallup? I mean, the thing is though. So the problem is for the last like 30 years, what they said is true, but it did just change. It just changed, right? Like, and it's also true if you, it's also true if you take The Nation, like maybe not now, but it was for a while, but it wasn't true when you focus on the fucking border states where, it's like where we actually having these issues, like kind of thing. So.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I get it. I've had this discussion before with people about the stats. The reason that the stats are that more people overstay their visas is because we have more information about those people, because we were not accounting for all of the people coming across the border illegally. But what actually showed the truth is literally Biden creating the app 4 years ago, and that allowed us to actually track the movement of people across the border more accurately, and that's why we have more accurate data than we ever have before. And I already knew that. I don't understand why they didn't know that. They should have studied. Maybe they just don't care. I don't know, but that was a solid shellacking, and they never did entertain my point, which is that by any metric I choose to use, or they would use, Democrats are fleeing the party. And while they may not register as a Republican, they don't vote Democrat right now. Marte, I'll bring you up, man. If we're supposed to have Gibbs versus Page. I messaged her. I sent her the link.
Come on, Paige, get in here.
She hasn't responded. She has the link to come up, be backstage. I'm literally watching like a hawk to click the button as soon as she comes into the chat. But in the meantime, we're just going to talk some shit.
Yeah.
And if you know if the
Good. What's your Twitch, by the way?
what's my Twitch?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Grid One Motorsports, I assume.
Is it?
Yeah,
Or is it?
it's an Unreasonable Man something. Hang on,
I got it. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. I got it.
You got it? All right.
Yeah, it's Unreasonable.
and Unreasonable Man all.
Yeah, so they wanted your link, so I gave them both.
Yeah. So, let's see. Marte. I have Marte. Where's Marte? There it is. There he is. I'll throw him the link out, and he can come.
Marte's pretty opinionated, so.
Yeah,
That's fine. I'm literally only here so people can't say I fucking run it because like it's you got to do what I say now. Or you running?
I'll say you're running. You're running.
Mm-hmm.
You're running.
Yeah,
You need to run.
Yeah, it's a pussy.
You're running from pussy? What?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm running.
No, that would never happen.
We're diving in. Ha!
Yeah.
Fucking degenerate.
Yeah, it's okay. Someone
Hey,
listen. Somebody's got to do
Did
it.
you talk to? Speaking of, did you talk to Teeny, Sky, or any of the others about coming on the show?
Yeah,
in the next few weeks.
Yeah, Sky's in the middle of like I don't know, a bunch of school shit, so we'll have to see on them.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, so they're doing good, but they're busy, right? And they've barely been streaming even. I think they stream like their streaming schedule's fucked because they're fucking doing school, right? And then Teeny, bro, she got a lot going on, but maybe some of the other ones. I could suggest a few other ones to you as well. We'll see.
Yeah. Just send me, send me some stuff because I like to do interviews on Wednesday evening or.
Teeny's not even in the country right now. I don't think. I think she's like in another country at the moment. So
again, she just got back from Peru. Like, why not? I mean, probably a month.
Was
ago.
she in Peru? I mean, I think she was in Puerto Rico.
Peru.
I mean, now she's in. I think she's like Canada. I just talked to her like 3 or 4 days ago.
It's a sausage fest. We have nothing but dudes.
That's 4 sausages already. That's
nothing but dudes.
A lot of brats.
Michelle, how are you? Michelle, our moderator, is here.
Michelle, that's Marte.
No, that's not Marte. Michelle Mod 1 is out there.
Oh, gotcha. In the chat.
I wouldn't call Marte Michelle.
My ex-wife's husband messaged me and said he saw me on a show the other night. And I was like, that's funny.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that, Michelle.
I was pretty pleased.
What's going on, gentlemen?
How you doing,
I just completely wrecked these very, very unprepared Democrats.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah, I hate those Democrats, man.
Well, the thing is that so I wasn't going to fall for it. Jake, they got Jake a couple of times because they'd say something about Trump, and Jake, much like a shark, is going to take that bait, baby, because he's just going to tear him up. And he did. He did a good job. But the problem was Trump wasn't the topic. But that's all they can do is just talk about Trump. They can't they can't actually talk about the problems in their own party. And the prompt is the Democrat Party dying?
Well, to be fair, I did circle it back to the actual prompt here.
You did a good job. You did it. Yeah. It was a good save.
So I was actually engaging with their arguments, circling back to the actual prompt. But you're right. Trump had nothing to do with the actual prompt there. Yeah, nothing to do with it.
That's all they could do. That's literally everything they did was like, oh yeah, this. And the Virginia governor, which Spanberg won by like it was going to probably be a Democrat anyway. I'm shocked that Spanberg, whatever. I'm surprised she took it because there were better Democrats in the wings, but I think that she just happened to be the one to be governor because the other Democrats want a different office. It's like the one thing I will give the Democrats credit for is they're much more they have better gamesmanship than Republicans.
Gamesmanship? What do you mean by that?
if Kamala had run with Buttigieg,
Booty, yeah, booty
I call him
juice.
Buttigieg. Sorry.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
If she had run with him, she stood a much better chance of really pushing Trump, right? Because
I don't know about that, Grid. I don't know about that.
Yeah, he was in at that time he was high in the polls. A lot of people were really really on board, and he would have been the first. It's a dream vote for lefties. A Democrat female,
And a homosexual
and a homosexual male, white guy. You couldn't write a better fairy tale story for them. But the problem is,
but great, it didn't work for Hillary. It didn't work for even Kamala with the first black president, which she's not even black; she's Indian.
Sure, but it would have been.
I don't think that works, bro.
Yeah, but I think it would have. I think it would have had a better chance than her and Waltz.
I think it would have fucking actually made them less of a chance to win. I think it would have been more of a blowout.
No,
I think so.
I think that's a dream.
I don't think that actually works anymore. Like we saw that with Hillary, we saw that with Kamala.
But we didn't see it because they both
to double that down. I don't even think would have worked. I think Trump still would have won by a landslide.
Yeah, the problem is they both pick white guys as running mates. But if you pick a white gay guy as running mate,
that might make a difference. Okay.
But hold on. Buttigieg has like one of the lowest poll numbers among Hispanics, and he's at 0% for African American voters would vote for him.
Oh shit,
that is crazy. Like I don't think I've ever seen anybody poll at 0%.
Right. So hear me out. So at the time, I think it would have been a better deal for him, or it would have been better for Kamala if she got pulled.
Yeah, but Grid, sell a gay guy to a Catholic Hispanic.
So if at that time she would have done better. However, Buttigieg and Gavin Newsom both want to be president.
Gavin would have been great, but not as a vice president. That wouldn't have launched her. Gavin should be the lead. He should be the face.
Sure, but Gavin wants to be president, so does Buttigieg. They both want to run a presidential ticket, and neither one of them, they both thought Kamala was going to lose, and there was no way they were going to tie their wagon to Kamala, and that's why Tim Walz, whose career is going fucking nowhere, ended up being her running mate. So I'm just giving you.
I mean, Newsom is in bad shape. Newsom's in bad shape himself now. He's not polling well. He's not. I know he's not running again because he's trying to prep for whatever. And he's doing this podcast thing, but he is.
He wants a presidential.
Yeah, but he is he didn't even do very good against fucking DeSantis, and DeSantis is not the A-team debate, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much I'm buying, and no offense to Marte here, but I'm not here to debate that shit. And if she's not here now, I've waited 25 minutes. So I got 2 words for you.
You still got 5 minutes. Let's do 30. 5 minutes at least. Let's get Paige on.
I got you. That's fair. That's fair. The original opposition that you had, I'm not going to intercede or interfere with that. I understand that. I'm just here to bullshit and kind of fellowship with the guys at the time. That's it, man.
No, yeah, you're good. My thing is, okay, I'll give her another 5. But then she's only got 15 minutes of debate because I got somewhere to be at 9:45. So and I'm already gonna be late.
Peter pulled at Taffy's.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna go to the dance hall, and I'm gonna spin this bitch around the dance floor, maybe flip her a few times, and then I'm leaving, and we're going to do fun stuff.
I did message her, so hopefully we can get her on for this.
She got 15 minutes. I'm out at 9:45. At 9:45 max. At max. But if she's not here in 4 minutes, I'm dipping because I don't want to wait that long, but I will.
Yeah.
You got to do 15, at least 15.
If she shows up in the next 4 minutes.
I don't get I want to talk about politics, man. So I agree. Gavin is unelectable nationally now, and you have to understand that I don't think he was ever going to run as for governor again because he is still. There's still a potential that he's going to be indicted for that train to nowhere and all of the money that disappeared. It's like $3 billion or some shit like that they put into this train. They have 100 miles of track and that's it. Right. And so he's still under investigation for that. He already went to court over it once in Southern California. And now he's more than likely going to end up being charged in Northern California, Sacramento, in the capital for the more or less the same thing, and that is, there's no accounting for those funds. But he still thinks, even with all of this bullshit, he still believes, Gavin Newsom believes that he can be president. He believes that he can bullshit his way into the Oval Office.
Grid, I do have a question for you, Grid. If you can answer this, or anybody on the panel, because this boggles my mind. So when we're talking about Gavin Newsom, I live in Arizona, which is like not too far from California.
Stone's throw away.
We have a lot of people with the third strike rule that are getting 2 strikes and they're escaping to Arizona. With the proliferation of the laws being changed in California, people just not liking the occurrence of Gavin Newsom. Billionaires leaving in mass. There's a mass migration. So here's the question that I have. I've met and bumped into a lot of people who are, I would say, people that transition from California to Arizona all the time. I meet these people often. And I always ask them the same question. Who did you vote for? Did you vote for Newsom? Not one person have I ever met in the last 3 years of just running to California.
Are you talking to men?
No, just everybody. Just all the board. I've never met one person that voted for Newsom. Where are these people at?
Yeah, so I get it. So there was a company that did an exit poll that asked people as they were exiting why they voted for Newsom.
Yeah.
And the overwhelming response again from women was they liked his smile.
Oh, God.
I shit you not.
No, yeah, that makes a lot of sense of how women vote. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
They felt like they could trust him.
That makes a lot of sense.
His smile.
Yeah. The wolf in sheep's clothing, right? So crazy.
Yeah, and it blew my fucking mind when I read that. I was like, there's no damn way.
I believe it. Yeah.
But that's the truth. And I actually have a friend of mine in Northern California that helped with Trump's campaign in 2016 there. And I believe she might have helped also in 2020 in California. And maybe in 2024.
I just know that I've met a ton of people, and not one guy I know has ever voted for Newsom.
Yeah, no, it's all women. I've never met a male. Now, I'm not saying that men wouldn't lie to me, right? But I've never met a male who said, I voted for Gavin Newsom.
I mean,
I will tell you, I know gun owners that have literally sat there and told me that they voted for lefty liberal politicians locally and at state level, even though they voted against their gun rights because they're not a single issue voter and they believe in gay rights.
That pollutes their entire voting.
Just real quick to your point, Grit, because it is 9:30 now and they have not appeared in the 5 minutes I gave them. I would also say, to your point, I argued Fairy Queen one time. She posted photos of Vance and Trump, and then versus Newsom when they were younger. Saying, "Look at Newsom. This guy's a model. Look how good he is. He's sexy." And I go, that's the same argument George Bush had going for him. He was sexy, and arguably, I love Bush. A lot of people don't. Yeah, that's a lot of people.
I don't remember Bush saying that he was sexy.
He didn't say he was sexy. People called him sexy. They're like, he's a good-looking dude. Yeah. Anyway, so the point is that I'm JFK. That once sex sells.
Oh yeah, JFK definitely.
Sure, but I think to your point though is there's that interview with Charlie Kirk with what's his name, Gavin Newsom, where he tells Newsom that podcasting is manly because you actually get in there and get challenged, and it doesn't aid the lefties very well because they get emasculated. And so it's funny because it goes to your point. Men will vote against the right sometimes or vote against their interest on one issue, but it'll be because someone's like a man. They have other things, even though you vote for a woman, maybe if they're representing stuff in an aggressive way they think will get done. Versus no man's ever voted for Newsom. Not no man ever, but not anybody that cares about masculinity.
Weird to you.
Yeah. And on that note, it's now 1 minute past the 5 minutes I've given them.
Right.
So I got 2 words. Ooh. I just got 2 words. Get good. And I got to say, on top of that, so it's not 2 words, I guess. I was called out. This was their idea to do this after my show.
Set it up, Gibbs. I set it up.
I'm just saying, I'm hearing a lot of talk about how I'm running, and I'm seeing a lot of talk about how they didn't show up when it was time, nut cutting time. But what should I expect with somebody without nuts and someone with a Sahara?
Gibbs, maybe you can debate Martell on this because.
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck. No offense. No offense to Martell. I told him.
Okay.
I told him I'd debate him on any topic. This is the problem. I don't want to debate him. I want to go to the dance hall. But yeah, y'all be good.
You dip your wick or whatever.
I will. I will go dip my wick, and I'll tell you about it later. All right, y'all have fun.
Fucking degenerate.
All right, we're gonna raid out here on my side, so y'all be good. I'm leaving,
right.
guys. We're raiding out. We're gonna raid. Who are raiding? I don't fucking know. Let's go to fucking. Let's raid Brutal Backs. We're gonna raid the homie. They're doing some fun stuff. So everybody go say hi to Bex. I don't know. It'll be good times. Mm-hmm.